What's up guys, my name is Chris, or TaintedCatalyst, and today I'm bringing you, again, something a little different. I feel like I say that at the start of pretty much all of the videos that I put out now. But this isn't going to be me talking about the gameplay, but the gameplay is pivotal to what I am talking about. Basically, the topic of today's discussion is going to be surrendering, and how I pretty much think that 95% of the time you shouldn't do it, alright? This game is a great example of that. I'm playing with Day and Tom, and they both were saying that we should surrender because you'll see we fall massively behind really quickly. I get camped at the top by their enemy Lee Sin, and it doesn't go well. You know, we die a lot. They wind up pulling ahead of us in kills, gold, dragons, everything. But I wanted to persevere, and we pulled out a really nice win. Obviously, I'm not going to upload this as a video if it's a loss because that doesn't really help my point of you shouldn't surrender. You should try. You should never give up. If you always give up, you don't stand a chance of winning. Okay? It's as simple as that. You have to try. Now, obviously, there's going to be occasions where you will need to surrender. You know, like two people go AFK, or you've got trolls, and then, you know, usually what happens is somebody feeds a whole bunch, and then someone goes, fine, I'm going AFK, or fine, I'm feeding as well. And it's like, okay, so now you have two people who are completely useless to the team. Chances are, that's a loss. But games like this, where everyone is still trying, that's the most important part of doing this, is that you have to try. You have to try your hardest. You have to play smart. Buy wards. If you fall behind in lane like I did, don't shove the lane. Don't go in there and use your abilities to just shove the wave, because then that's just going to result in you getting caught out again. So what I do is I kept letting this Vi push to the tower, and I just farmed safely. I actually kept up with farm pretty well, considering, even though she does wind up getting like a kill or two and a assist or two on me. So, excuse me. As you can see, this Lee just keeps coming top. I don't know why he really was just focused on me. I'm not sure if these two would duo queue, and so he was like, I'm just going to get you super fed, and then you're going to win the game for us. That was a really bad ultimate, but getting off track, I don't really want to be talking about what's going on screen. You can just watch that and just see how bad it is at the start. We are now 1-8, and yeah, it's just, we're just falling further and further behind. So, like I said, the whole point of this is that I just don't think you should just give up. You know, 20 minutes surrender, it's not something that should be done. You can always win. You know, most people play solo queue. If you consider the amount of people that probably play ranked 5v5s and stuff like that, it's a lot lower than solo queue. I think the majority of people that are going to see this video will be playing solo queue. Those people need to understand that people make mistakes. When they're not communicating with each other, like verbally, they're going to make mistakes. People are going to get caught out. People are not going to know who to focus necessarily, like in the enemy team, and so there's like a lot of spread damage, which is a great opportunity for you if you are strong enough to kill somebody, and if you actually communicate with your team. That's the biggest thing. You have to communicate. When you're falling behind, you have to communicate with your team. If you're having trouble up top, or mid, or bottom, or whatever, ask your mid laner to come down. If you're bot and you're getting camped, ask your jungle to come and help you. You need to communicate. Otherwise, what's going to happen is your mid laner is just going to flame and rage and say, oh, bot fed. But they could have done something. If it's you, you could have done something. Think about how many times you've gone, oh, mid lost us the game. You could have helped him. You could have gone and helped. Now, I understand that may have resulted in you losing a tower. So what? How many times have you lost a tower early on and then still won? You know, like, I know it is important to get these objectives, but it's not game ending. Like First Blood, the amount of time people get First Blood, and then the person who was on the team of the person who died goes, GG, game over, this person's lost us the game. It's like, how many times has First Blood decided the outcome of the game? You know, it just doesn't happen, especially in solo queue when people are making mistakes all the time, and that's how we win this game. We capitalize on their mistakes. Now you can see they're still pulling ahead. You know, we are now currently nearing 20 minutes into the game. We have 4 kills to the 18. Okay? We've got 1 tower each now, just cut to a new thing. And yeah, it's just important to remember that if you don't give up, let's look at it this way, if you give up, you have lost. Okay? No matter what, if you give up, you will lose the game. Whereas if you try, there's a chance. You might still lose, but so what? You would have lost anyway if you'd have given up. So you may as well stick with it. You know, there's no harm in sticking with it. Now obviously you might be like, oh well, I'm just going to waste another 25 minutes of my time, and I could get into a new game and start a new game up. And I think that's a lot of people's attitude towards surrendering at 20 minutes. And I have done that before, because it's just like, some games you think, this is just pointless. Like, because I play a lot of support as well, and so for me, you know, support is like very, very difficult to carry from, you know, and if you've got a bad team, I would say it's almost impossible to carry. Unless you're like a blitzcrank who can like grab their AD carry and you can melt them down, and then all of a sudden the team fight is massively in your favor, it's, you know, pretty much not going to happen. So you need to make sure that. I actually forgot what I was talking about with the 20 minute surrenders. People just want to do it. They want to just get on to the next game. Try and not do that. Try and get out of that mindset of, well, I may as well just get on to the next game, and then, you know, and what's going to happen then? You're going to go to the next game, will the same thing happen? Are you going to try as hard, or are you going to be kind of on tilt because of your last game? I just think it's important to try and not surrender. Statistics show that if you surrender, right, 75% of the time that you surrender, you would have won. Okay? That's not actually a real statistic. But imagine if it was. Imagine if, you know, you would have won 75% of the games that you do wind up surrendering. And I'm sure that the games that you do surrender, you would have actually wound up winning. Like, this game, they tried to surrender a couple times, my teammates. And I kept going with no, and someone else, thankfully, kept choosing no. And we wind up catching them out. You see that? Like, they keep coming in one at a time. People make mistakes. That's the basic, what it comes down to is that in solo queue, these people are going to make mistakes. If you are smart enough and good enough to capitalize on those mistakes, obviously I say good enough as in comparatively to the enemy team. I'm not trying to say that I was amazing all the time and this is how, you know, I can just carry all games. That's impossible. No one can carry every single game. But if you work together and if you play smart, like, look at this. Tarek, for some reason, decides, hey, I'm going to go check the blue. You can look on the minimap. All of the rest of them are in mid. I don't know why he was doing that, and so it just gives me a free kill. It's like, he can't do anything. He has just given us a free kill, and then they'll come in mid. Right? And now, I'm currently the most fed person in the game. And I have got possibly the most damage other than maybe, like, Twitch. You know, just general deeps. But in terms of just, like, burst damage, it's just... Look at this. Yi is just meditating, and I've just killed the Vi, killed the Caitlyn, I killed the Tarek beforehand, and now they're still trying to fight us. It's like, you are now 2v5. We just killed 3 of you as 2 people, me and Yi, and you couldn't do anything. Like, these are the mistakes that lose the games, and I'm sure that, you know, you've seen teams do this, and your own teams have done it, where they lose the game because they're like, solo queue, they'll just take it in turns, dying essentially. Like, they'll go in, and the next person will be like, oh, what was over there? So, someone's over there? I'll go check. I'll just go make sure they're still there. And then they go in and they die as well. And you're like, why would you do that? Why would you follow them after they've already died? Or why would you engage 5 people as 2 people? Unless, like, in our situation, me and Yi, I knew that we were able to kill them. I knew that we had the damage and the sustain to do it. So it's things like this that win games. Playing smart and capitalising on mistakes. Don't give up. You should never surrender, really. I mean, I say never. There are occasions where you'll want to surrender, but like I said, 95% of the time, I would say you shouldn't surrender. You should try and win, you know. And like, think of team composition. You know, is your team stronger late game? It might be. Think about it. Just think about what you're gonna have. Who's gonna fall off? You know, if you just kind of just gotta think about it. So this was the last team fight. This is the end of the video pretty much. I got a nice quad kill. Yi unfortunately stole my pentakill, which sucks. But oh well, you know, it's no big deal. And so we win. We just kept winning team fight after team fight. After my death stuff at the top, I didn't die once. So it's just through, you know, I probably sound like a broken record, but just play smart, okay, and you'll be fine. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, share this video if you want to on Facebook and Twitter. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.